Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you a flip through of my cousin for the month of Jan. So let us begin. So as far as the cover is concerned, I'm still continuing with the clear cover because it is just a stay-at-home planner. I do not like the bulk and I do not really need any pockets as such. I do not even use the pen loop for that matter. Now let us go to the first spread. So this is the yearly index. Now last year I tried to use this and it was a complete failure because I wanted to use it as a habit tracker and that did not work out. This year I'm trying something new. So I'm trying to use it as an index, okay, for my daily pages. This is specifically for the daily pages. Now in the daily pages I journal a lot, and what happens is that there is so much written, and sometimes when I want to go back and find something, it is really difficult to find it. So I am trying to just highlight some of the main things that I have written on those pages as such. Now there is no specific rule to writing it. It is just the main highlight of that day which I have noted down on the daily page, which I transferred to that exact date that I've written that on. As you can see, some are empty simply because some days I'm just jotting down my thoughts because I want to let it out, not because I'm recollecting any specific event on that day. So I have not really filled in those days because I do not feel the need to completely fill it as such. As far as the last section is concerned, I'll truthfully tell you I have not made an index so far of this, but I will go back and do this later this week probably. So far I am liking it. I am not saying that it is very effective or productive because I have not had to use it as such. See, this comes in use later, or maybe towards the end of the year or between the year when I want to look back on something and go through the index. As of now, I do not really have to use it, so I cannot say how effective it is in that sense. But I am liking it, and I think I will continue with the same for the next month as well. Now moving on to the monthly spreads. Currently it is on Feb, so I'm just removing this. These are what I use as bookmarks for each of my spreads. I do not have any pencil board or any other sort of bookmark. This is what I'm using because I love it because it's quite thin. Okay, it's very slim and it works. Okay, it works great because as you can see, it sticks out. You can decide how much you want it to stick out and it works. Okay, and there are no heavy indentations. Of course, there are slight marks that come up, which are not a huge issue for me. It depends on how many pages you're clipping in as such. Okay, so this is the month of Jan in the monthly spread. Now what I've done for the monthly spread is, the only decorative aspect is covering with washi the days that are not part of this month. And other than that, initially I had an idea to actually write down the month in huge letters because you can barely see the month written down over here. So I wanted to write down the name of the month over here. But then somewhere along the way I dropped the idea because I ended up using this space for something or the other. So I just dropped the idea. I don't particularly care about it at the moment. Now let us go into what you see here. A lot of it is pre-planning. Some of it is like an overview of the month for me so that I can come back to the spread and see what happened, main things that happened in this month. So let's go. The first thing that I have here is social media planning. I believe not everyone has it, but I have it. I won't say it is social media planning as such because it's not planning that I do over here. It's more of keeping a track on myself, whether I am being regular or not. This was not really a good month in terms of social media. I just uploaded 2 videos and that too in the first week of Jan, and the rest of the month I have not done anything at all. There is a reason for that, but I'm not going into that as of now. As far as Instagram is concerned, I have the small logo to indicate the days that I've posted on Instagram. Again, not really worked on Instagram as well this month. As you can see, I just wanted to point this out. I have just doodled it. I'm not really good with it. That is why you can see the mess that you can see. And I'm fine because initially I wanted to use stickers for that. There are many stores where you can just get this mini icons for these. But I avoided that because I felt that it was just a little unnecessary expense. And I could have just saved it by doing this on my own, even though it doesn't look that good, but it's fine. And And something else that I added to my social media here is also the number. Frankly, I used to not check the numbers before, but this year I just decided to keep a track of them depending on how regular I am with my videos as such. So clearly I was not very regular this month, and these are the subscribers and followers that I had, which is okay according to me, because see, it's not that I am that regular. I have a full-time job, so I understand why I have these numbers, and I'm quite happy with them because I'm grateful for those who are there with me. Now moving ahead to the next thing that I have over here are circle stickers. Okay, you can see a number of circle stickers. Okay, this clear ones where you can see the number through. I'm not sure whether this is obvious, but I can see the number through it. This is for my periods, and this is for a specific event on Sundays. And there are in fact a number of them. I have a key for all of those at the back of my planner. In fact, I've explained all of this in my Hobonichi Cousin setup video if you want to check that out. And here just these few are there, but there are actually a lot more than these. Now, as far as the smaller circle stickers are concerned, these are not clear. These just indicate certain types of bills. I know what each color indicates, so that is easy for me to recognize as such. But these are my favorites because I can see the number through them, okay? And they have different colors, so they are just really effective for me as such. Now, the next thing that I have on here is a little bit of pre-planning, in the sense that here we had a trip planned because there was a wedding. But then this entire thing is pre-planning, frankly, of what was planned for each day as such. And the trip was cancelled because of the COVID cases in that place as such. I could have cancelled this whole thing with whiteout, but then I realized that I want to see it. I wanted to see that, I would like to know what was there during those days and why I cancelled it. So I kept it over here. I did not remove it off completely as such. But other than that, Jan was not very busy, I feel, in terms of other things. Okay, let's see, there were a few other things like this and this over here. The colors, these are not color coded, truthfully. They are just random colors so that they stand out. I have used highlighters so that they stand out on the page, but there's no specific theme to it as such, just to clarify that for you. As far as anything else is there in this month, let me see what else. I have these initials for what kind of meetings we have on Sundays, whether we are actually meeting in person or whether they are online meetings, Zoom meetings as such, okay? And that would be all for the monthly spread for the month of Jan. So let us move ahead to the weekly spreads now. Again, I am in the month of Feb, so I'll just pull it back to Jan. Okay, so this was the first week of Jan, okay, and frankly I'm not sure whether it is very obvious, but there were mistakes on this page where I've used whiteout as such, but yes, the basics of each weekly spread is simply this, that the top section is for me time, as I've written, the middle section is for to-dos, and the last section is for events. So I do this for the whole week. Okay, now I generally do this every Sunday. I set up this every Sunday. The base of it I set up every Sunday. Of course, some things get filled in later as the days pass. Okay, but the larger sections I just fill it up every Sunday as such. So I will have set up, these water drop symbols which are for tracking my drinking, and I will also have set up these trackers as well. This is for my sleep, this is some hair care, skin care, vitamins. These are all trackers which I have on the left hand side. So I set these on, I already set this up for every week on the Sunday, on a Sunday as such. And of course these to-do lists get added each day. Okay, it keeps on changing. Events also get added earlier because I know about the event and I write it earlier in advance as such. As far as these washis are concerned, I covered them up because I don't use these days. I never tend to use the extra days that are there. I always just cover them up. So this is the full week. You can see over here, this is how it would look. I have not really used, I think I have not used any stickers at all over here. I am fine with that. There is no other color over here also. It does not really bother me. But as you go, I've been trying to just add some color. Where was it? over here where I indicated in red the days that I had a shorter time of sleep, and I'm just seeing how that works out for me. I'm not still sure of which one I like better, whether continuing with it in black or using red for those days. Similarly, I was considering doing that here as well, so that it stands out the days that I have not followed the routines to use it in red. I'm not still sure whether I want to do that or not. I'm kind of a little confused about that. But more or less, my week is going in the same format. The only difference that is there from this to this is that I avoided this lines that were there. I didn't use it in this week. I was just trying out something new. I'm not sure which one I prefer more, this or this as such. Then I brought back the lines over here. Not really sure. This was a little empty as such. Doesn't really bother me. Initially, I was wondering whether I should cover these up with some washi or stickers. Then I just felt bored and I didn't do it. Okay. But I really like how these spreads work for me in terms of functionality. I love it because this is what works for me. I will admit that a few times around this month, I saw some other beautiful spreads online and I really wanted to, shift to that, because some of those spreads I've used before and I've enjoyed it last year. But then for some reason I continued with this because I feel this works for me at the moment. Maybe later in a different situation in life I might change up these spreads, but as far as the time is concerned now, I love this sort of spreads that I have. And of course I have made mistakes where I use whiteout. Now here the reason that I use whiteout is simply because if I cancel, I do not have place to write again. So I have to use whiteout so that I can write on top of it. So some places require whiteout, some places I do not require it. So I use as needed. And of course there are some cases where there is a lot of ink spreading. Initially it used to bother me. I think I'm at that point of life where it just doesn't really bother me as such. Okay, so this is the last week of Jan. Again, a lot of empty towards the bottom, but it does not really bother me because I was not really well at that time of the month as such. Now let's go ahead to the daily spreads. So my daily spreads are for journaling, as simple as that. Now, as far as the dashboard is concerned, I had a lot of plans for it, a number of productive plans, but then I dropped it all simply because I just couldn't associate using this for planning when I'm journaling over here. So I just went with whatever I felt like doing for that month. Currently, I am thinking of using quotes that I've been loving. So I loved these quotes. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Similarly, when you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. These were quotes that I felt were inspiring and I really liked it, and I put it down over here. And I'm fine with this. It's not, I guess, what people would think as very functional or productive, but I think this suits me for, my daily spreads. I think it goes well along with that, and I've been enjoying this rather than, planning something else over here. But of course, it depends on you. You can go with other methods of planning over here as well. This is completely for journaling. Now, as far as the month of Jan is concerned, I would say exactly half of the month I journaled, half of the month I didn't journal because I was not well. Nevertheless, let's come back to the spreads. So I've been journaling this time a lot more than I did last year. I used to journal on 2 lines, as in write on 2 lines last year, but then I'm writing in the single grid now. What I have over here is a lot of journaling, and what I'm doing with journaling this time is I try to, highlight in some way what is the main topic of that spread as such. Okay, now this may not mean much to you, but this is regarding our New Year's meeting that we have every year on the first church meeting, and this entire page is based on that. And I love to go back and read, but at times it gets difficult when there's a lot written and you have to go and search for something. So now I've decided to highlight a little bit of what is the main topic that I have on that spread as such. As far as the decorative aspects are concerned, I have done this in advance. I have pre-planned it, the stickers. I've randomly placed it throughout the month of Jan. It has not been, placed after as such. So I write around the stickers if I have to. Now this is the 2nd and the 3rd of Jan. So the same continues over here. I have journaled a lot and I have highlighted some topics on which I have written maybe certain paragraphs or certain sections as such, so I know what it is about instead of having to go and read each and everything in detail. There are some days, in fact I have to say this is actually from Tuesday, Jan 4. I had stopped over here for the 2nd and I think I didn't have place for Tuesday. Yes, I didn't have place, so I wrote continued and I continued over here. But see, there are days where I'm not written at all. You can see that. And the same continues. I have journaled in the initial week quite well, I would say. But then as days went by, I had fallen sick. And the journaling was quite at a low at that point of time as such. But I have continued with my plans. As I said, I wrote the main topics and then I've journaled so that I can find those things easily as such. And of course, some of these I choose what I want and then it goes into my index later. I don't write the index on a daily basis. I just do it when I feel like it, maybe at the end of the month or after 2 weeks, I just go and fill up the index as such. So what you see here is just a lot of journaling, but I like this way because I can easily find what I want to, what I'm looking for. See, I can just look this up and I can read that accordingly. So it's not like I have to search a lot for that specific information. Again, something that I didn't do this year is actually try to fill these up. I don't know why I didn't do it, maybe because I was not well. Last year, whenever I had empty spaces, not that it really bothered me, but I tried to fill it up with some art or doodle. Not that I'm really good at it, but I still try to fill it up. But this year I really didn't do it. I just left it blank. So you can see that last week it is completely blank. Okay, and I know why it is blank because I've just mentioned it in short over here. But yes, so this would be the end of Jan. And that is all for the month of Jan. With regards to my Hobonichi Cousin, I think I covered everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you how your first month of planning went. Are you already feeling not so motivated to use your planner? I think that was the case in mine also. Yes, I was sick towards the end, but I think I could have still used it. But then somewhere along the way, I just didn't feel like using it effectively. But one thing I'm grateful for is I'm still very attached to my Hobonichi Cousin. I do not want to shift to another planner. And I hope you are enjoying your planners no matter which it is. And have a great day everyone. See you in my next video.